Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing, and today I'm delighted to be joined with Ryan Whelan. He's 5-0 with one draw. It's fight week for him. He's boxing David Butlin for the Midlands light heavyweight title at the Holiday Inn in Birmingham. I had David on yesterday, so it's good to have the other half of the main event on. Ryan, how are you doing today, Ryan? It's been a little bit of a while since we've had an interview, but yeah, it's good
Yeah,
to
it's
get
been a
you on.
while. No, no problem. Yeah, I'm doing all good. Thank you very much.
That's good to hear. I mean, I think I had you on either before your debut or you were 1-0 at the time, so it's
Yeah, we
good
are
that
going back quite a bit. A lot has
yeah,
happened since then.
yeah, lots has happened. You've had your six fights. It's going
Yeah,
well so far, and now we've
yeah,
reached this milestone.
pardon, could you repeat that?
I said it's going well so far, and now we've reached the moment where you're going
Oh,
for your first title.
yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to it. It's no shoddy accomplishment, seventh fight competing for the area bout. So I'm looking forward to it. Me and Dave are going to put on a show. So, I'm ready.
Yeah, and of course, um, I had David on yesterday. First question, well, he said that you two have had, previous spars together, and you fought twice in the amateurs.
Yeah, that's correct. We both four. I think a lot of people know Dave did beat me both times in the amateurs, but those were the amateurs. This is the pros. It's a completely different sport in a way. Yeah, plenty of spars. We know each other inside and out pretty much. So the spectators can expect a great contest.
Yeah, and are you going into the fight thinking, oh, he's got two wins over me, or you're thinking, oh, it's a
No,
brand
not
new
all,
fight?
to be honest. No, the way I'm thinking, this is starting afresh. That was the amateur game. 3 rounds, 3 minutes. It's a lot more hectic, a lot more fast paced. Whereas this one now, it's a long time. We're in that ring for could possibly up to 30 minutes. You got a lot more time to figure them out. You got a lot more time to ease into the fight. But it's going to be a great contest either way. He knows what I bring. I know where he comes from. Don't get me wrong. We've probably both been working on stuff that are different, but it's definitely going to be a good contest.
Yeah, and of course, why this fight now in your career? Of course, I was seeing you have been made for it a couple times against different opponents, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're now boxing Dave Butlin.
Yeah, so I was previously supposed to fight Cliff Emery back in March. Obviously, he sustained an injury, um, and kind of like stepped aside as such at the moment, which has given me and Dave the opportunity to compete against each other for it.
Yeah, and of course, you've had previous spars as well. You've sparred countless rounds with him. I
Yeah.
asked him the same question yesterday. Are you taking much from those two amateur fights and the spars with him, or not really?
No, not really. As I said, fight night is completely different. Me and him both have probably done thousands of rounds with other people as well. Sparring is sparring. It's where you learn, it's where you develop. You know, the only thing that will matter is what happens on fight night.
Yeah, you're on a good little run at the moment. Your last fight you mentioned earlier was meant to be for the belt. It was a
Yeah.
late change into a six rounder against Leon Mitchell, who was 1-2, so it's sort of a half and half record.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Boxing Leon, it gave me plenty of good experiences as well. He came to win. He didn't sit on the back foot. He didn't try and survive. He was a very live dog in there. Um, and it was a great contest, gave me great experiences. And, I was training for, a Midlands light heavyweight title fight. So I was at around 175 pounds. So there was a lot of weight given away. But as I said, great experience nonetheless.
Yeah, and of course, did you know that you were in line for that Midlands straight after that fight due to the fact that you were, due to box for it on that
Um,
night?
Somewhat, yeah, we half knew that, because of the circumstances previously, I'd probably be in line to box whoever was next, whether that was me and Cliff rescheduled or me and somebody else. But it's boxing, you never know how it goes. Sometimes things can change in a drop of a hat. So, you just gotta stay prepared and stay ready for whatever comes about.
Yeah, and you've got this offer, in Birmingham as well.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a good fight, isn't it, this
yeah,
one?
it's nice and local. That's always lovely as well. You know, get a good crowd coming down. So yeah, it'd be a great contest.
Is it good to, in a way sort of have the home, you've got home territory?
Somewhat, yeah. As I said, I know Dave's quite a popular lad, so I'm sure he'll bring the crowd himself. But the way I see it is, at the end of the day, it's only me and Dave that are going to get into the ring and box each other. So it's all rests on our shoulders at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course you've had I think you've fought two people the same, so you've had two common opponents.
I
Um
believe so, yes.
yeah, would you say that you've had the Zane Clark fight was a tough fight for you, the your last fight against Leon Mitchell? Would you say you've had the harder fight so far than Dave?
Yeah, I'd say that I've had definite, sterner tests. Zane, obviously, I went down a weight category. I was looking at potentially competing at super middleweight. It was a learning experience, you know. And then, yeah, Leon, as I said, came to fight. But, I'm sure that, Dave is very capable himself and, you know, they would have been good experience had he had them. But yeah, I'm beneficial the fact that I've had them experience previously because they've put me in good stead.
Yeah, and you've learnt different things from different opponents, different style. Of course, Zane Clark, super middle, and that Leon fight was a bit heavier than usual. But
Yeah,
yeah, you've learned different things from different fights, would you say?
yeah, 100%. That's without a doubt.
And how's camp gone for this fight? Of course, your last camp, has it sort of been similar to your
Yeah,
last camp due to the
it
fact?
has been similar because obviously it was only within a couple of weeks prior to the last one that we found out that the opponent wasn't able to box. So a lot of the camp was the same. But camp's been good. I've had a lot of good sparring. I'm surrounded by a lot of good people, training out of the East Side gym. So, we've got the likes of Shaq Pitters and Sam Eggington and a lot of the lads, that are coming up themselves. Omar Davis, who's also on the card, Liam O'Hare. So a lot of good sparring out there.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Shakan Pitters, Sam Eggington, they've boxed Sky. I believe Shakan's got a big European title fight lined up as well. And
I
Sam
believe so.
Eggington, top fighter, as we all know,
Yeah.
uh, former British champ in his own right as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you take stuff off their experiences, they've been there, they've done it. So, it's always nice to have it around in the gym while you're training.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, Omar, up and coming, doing well. Liam O'Hare, another one. I think he had a
Yeah.
big win the other week and in his
And he's
own
a
right, a
former
former
Midlands champion in his
former
own
Midlands
right. So,
champion as well.
yeah,
So is it another new belt to the gym on
that's what
Saturday
we're
night?
looking at. Without a doubt, we're not going in there to lose, as any boxer shouldn't. We're going there, we're going to put on a performance, and all being well, we're coming out with that win. We're bringing the belt back.
And of course, change of opponent for the belt. You were meant to be fighting Cliff Henry originally. Would you say
Yeah.
this fight against Dave is a tougher fight than Cliff Henry, or?
I wouldn't use the term tougher or easier in any sense of the word. I just think it's a different fight in its own right. They're very different styles of boxing. The pros that Cliff may have are different to the pros that Dave would have. But in boxing, it's all about adapting. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, 100%. And would you say this has been uh the best camp of your career to date, or?
I think the cliche thing is to always say it's the best camp of my career. But yeah, it has been a good camp. Weight's gone well. Been on weight all throughout. Um, been smashing it really. Great sparring. So yeah, definitely.
Have you had some t tough rounds with the Eggington and Pitters and Omar and
Yeah,
Liam?
I've done rounds with a couple of the lads in the gym. So as I said, lads that are far more experienced than me, lads that have been to levels higher than me and levels that I'm hoping to go to. I've had them rounds, which it's been a good thing.
Yeah. And what does this fight mean to you at this stage of your career? What does the Midlands title mean to you?
The Midland title was the first step to anywhere. You know, you win your area title, and then you look to move on. Uh, the title in its own right is quite important in the sense that it's sort of a legacy thing as such. You know, family members winning it in the past in terms of my uncle, my cousin. So
Yeah.
that in itself, it plays its factor. But yeah, as I said, this is about writing my story as well now, putting my name onto the next chapter.
Yeah. I mean, your cousins won it. You said your uncle as well. So
That is
hopefully
correct.
three, from the family getting the
That's it.
Midlands title.
100%. That's the plan.
And I forgot what I was gonna say. Is the fight getting like shown?
Whether it be live streamed or not, I'm unsure to be honest. I don't want to tell you yes, and it's not, so I'm not sure. The best person to ask would probably be John Pegg.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, do you know like what time you'll be boxing, or will you find that out tomorrow at the
I
weigh-in and
believe
stuff?
we'll find out tomorrow. I'm expecting probably 9:30, 10 p.m., but again, I'll hopefully find that out tomorrow and go from there.
Yeah. And f final message to not only your supporters, to the fans that are going to be attending on Saturday night of what they can expect from you, Ryan.
They can expect a great fight. We're going to leave everything in there. That's both me and Dave. I'm sure he's probably told you the same thing. Yeah, regardless, they'll be getting their money's worth. But the plan is for me to have my hand raised at the end of it all.
And before I let you go, Ryan, do you want to thank whether that's just anyone, the usual people you
Yeah,
want to thank on your journey?
yeah, I'd like to thank all the team at Eastside Boxing Club. The work they've been putting into me, John Pegg, Soggy Coonahan, Louis Coonahan, all the lads in the gym as well, for training alongside the sparring. All the people at Neutral Amateur Boxing Club as well, which is, as I said, formerly run by my grandfather and my great uncle, Derek and Ernie Holt, and now obviously being run by my uncle Mark Holt. The lads in here as well coming to support me. My family, they're also coming out there to support me, and all my friends and whatnot. Everyone that's bought tickets, they don't understand how much we appreciate it, especially on a small hall level. It goes a long way. And as I said, we're going out there to put on a show for them, and hopefully they all enjoy it.
And yeah, from me, Ryan, a big thank you for your time and good luck with the fight on Saturday. All the best.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. Good luck.
Yeah, goodbye.